The mystery is now over. Joe Manganiello, of course, brought Bubbles the dog with him here today.
Bubbles! I did.
Is Bubbles cold? Is she okay?
No, she's fine. She likes being on TV. No, I don't know. She really could care less about TV. But
it's so funny. It's so funny here that whenever, say, a female guest comes in and the guys will dress nicely, they'll like sit up straighter in the chair.
Yes.
You know, you come here and the guys get their best shoes out because they know you're going to come correct. Like, seriously, yesterday when they're like, Joe's coming in, we got to wear our best shoes.
It's a thing. It's
Joe
fun.
flexes on us, Rich.
Yeah,
We can't. I mean,
So what are these? What are the choice? What's the choice today?
These are the Off-White Jordan 1.
The first ever
Chicago's.
The first ever
These are the
Off-Whites.
first evers. Yeah, and these are hard, actually tricky to get because they were 14s, but I bought them for retail.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to say what they are,
Don't say
but
substantial.
like they're a lot. You
but
can
like-
look it up on the resale apps. You'll
So
see. how
why
much
do you
they
wear
are.
them if they're...
because I'm on the Big Dick Richie show. See, I knew you weren't going to say it earlier. I'm like the Yakuza brother who like turns to you and is like, just go. I'll take the heat. I'll clean this up. Just go. Just get out of here, Rich. I'll say it. You don't have to say it. I'll say it.
that's a drop.
That's where you are right now. So that's why you showed up with these shoes, and of course, Bubbles is here.
Coming on Rich's show. I gotta,
Fantastic.
I gotta show out. Let's
Not
go.
just on any day. Also, it's
go.
a big weekend. It's a big weekend.
Well,
Joe Manganiello.
it is a big weekend.
It's a huge. Well, actually, let me upgrade. It's a big dick weekend, right? Did I just say it?
I would go so far as to say it's an elite quarterback weekend. Oh! Somebody was in top 5 in yardage.
Back here on our terrestrial radio outfit, Joe Manganiello is here. Bubbles the dog is here. And what's the name of this show, Joe? For those who are just joining us,
The BDR #BDR, aka the Big Dick Richie Show.
We got a new drop. We've got a lot of new drops here on the program.
We're rebranding.
Oh, baby.
We're rebranding.
Joe Manganiello is here. Okay, so now I know we're just here to hang out. Mythic Quest. It's killing it right now.
Fun
brother.
show. Great show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
New episodes releasing weekly, streaming on Apple TV, comes back on November 11th. Mm-hmm. You and Rob McElhaney.
And David Hornsby, who I went to the Carnegie Mellon School of Drama with.
Aha!
Star and writer of Mythic Quest. And Rob, really funny guy.
He is a funny dude.
I did a movie with Glenn Howerton called Arch Enemy a few years ago, and we became friends. And then, Rob called me actually in the first season of Mythic Quest to come do an episode. And it was that night where, for anyone who had the NBA on, Mark Cuban's whispering what's going on in COVID. So they canceled the NBA, they canceled Coachella.
Yeah.
The next morning, I went downtown in downtown LA to work on an episode of Mythic Quest. There was no one there. It was a ghost town. None of us knew what to do.
Right.
We shot this episode, but it needed big crowds, and you couldn't do that anymore. So there is a
hiatus.
There's a secret episode floating somewhere that we shot that never got aired, and then 3 years later, for the 3rd season, they called me back, and then I came back.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Awesome. And there's so much more to talk about, but let's just jump into it. Sunday, Jets, Steelers. Here we go.
Joe
As
Flacco.
they say, hashtag, here we go. It's not Joe Flacco this time, sir. It's going to be Zach.
Zach?
They're putting Zach out there.
Because
You're
why?
getting the return of Zach.
What is
No, Joe's the backup.
Joe?
He's the
Was Joe
backup.
scared? Was he like having DTs in the morning, and he's like, I can't get out there?
Yeah,
I remember those old the 2008 game.
Excuse me, I don't like your tone, and I don't appreciate it. And I'm going to flip it to say, who's starting the backup quarterback this week? My team or yours? How about that, Joe Manganiello?
Spicy.
That is spicy. Well,
Who's starting the backup?
our starting quarterback is playing this week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see what happens when we come to the bye week, but for now he's playing.
I was about to say your teeth appear to be gritted a little bit as you're saying that. Look, I mean,
Something's going on. There's a lot of speculation on our part. We've got some talented young guys, obviously, in skill position
that
on
Pickens
offense.
grab last Thursday was absurd.
But I mean, did anyone see his highlight reel coming out of college? The guy's unbelievable, and he's like a mean guy. He's got a mean streak.
Yes.
I mean, you ever see him knock those DBs Like he kind of shoves them off of the line of scrimmage.
He threw somebody out of the club in preseason. I saw that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So we have these really talented guys who you can see on the field are getting frustrated. So whether that's, coordinator issues or incompatibility, quarterback or whatever's going on, we got to play better on offense.
It just I'm wondering, Brockman, you can help out here. Who had a better grip? Pickens of that grab on the football or Joe with Bubbles the dog right now? Who's got a better 4 points of pressure situation? What do you think?
I'm going to go with George, I think, actually.
I need to recreate
with
this.
Bubbles? With Bubbles?
Yeah, with Bubbles. Can somebody recreate the George Pickens, maybe my face on George with Bubbles in
we
hand?
can Photoshop
Get our friends at home.
Yeah, we could get
that sounds like a Smitch special.
I would post that.
Get that. You post that?
I would post that in a heartbeat.
Where
Catch of the year.
Pickens is laying out, but it's Bubbles the dog sitting right there in the hand.
Who wore it better, OBJ or me?
I love it. But no, here comes Zach. Zach's going to be there. Zach's going to come out of the 2022 gates here. We'll see what happens.
Fun.
We got a lot of skilled players ourselves,
I know. Man, it's a tricky year I'm sure it's a tricky year for you every year, but it's a tricky year for us this year as Steeler fans. Because I always text you. I'm always like, here we go, Rich.
I know that. I know.
But we'll see, man. Obviously, our defense is a side of the ball that we really pride ourselves on, and that the team, we've got all pros at 3 levels.
Yes.
But missing TJ, I think is really, look at what a difference. But Alex Highsmith was leading the league in sacks heading into this week, so he's stepped up a ton, and we were looking for other guys to step up. They're going to move Alualu out and see what some of the younger guys can do.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about you defensively. I'm just it's the offense, man, and I'm trying to see when Tomlin's gonna hit the button, push the button, and because the media is trying to get him to push it now, and he's not budging. As a matter of fact, he's getting more retrenched, it seems.
Yeah.
But he also knows his team better than anybody else. I'm wondering where you stand on that subject matter.
Well, I think there were a lot of people saying, hey, look, maybe on a 10-day week after a Thursday night game, then you put the rookie in.
That was this week.
You go this week, then you face the meat grinder. We enter the gauntlet, which is like Bills, Bucks heading into the bye. And, if anything could break the spirit of a young quarterback, if the guy's going to play, he's going to, he's got to play against those teams anyway. So I don't know. I think if we have, a bad record heading into the bye week and it's a lost season, or we're so far behind, put him in. Put him in, right? We want to see what he can do.
Brother, after the Jets, you're not wrong.
It's
I'm
bad.
looking at it right here. You want to talk about needing the offense to maybe go point for people and get the defense somehow even stouter.
Right.
Buffalo, Tampa, Miami,
Philly, bye, New Orleans, Cincy, who we squeaked out a win again. They handed us that win first week. Even though the defense was insane.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. The extra point and the field goal in overtime.
And you got 2 Baltimore games. We always have trouble with the Raiders. The Raiders are like what the Dolphins were to the Patriots during those years.
Right.
They just have our number. So it's a tough season. But here's the thing: I think people forget that Ben wasn't put in because he was a high draft rookie. Ben was put in because Tommy Maddox got hurt.
Damn straight. And I remember the team was like, not now.
No, Tommy had
ready to win
yeah.
right now,
yeah.
and we don't need some game managing rookie. And he didn't lose again the rest of the regular season.
No, and he won the games he needed to win.
Correct.
He had incredible comebacks that whole season.
So how likely is that Lightning would strike twice and putting Kenny Pickett in? You know what I mean? It is amazing, an amazing situation like that. Is there any chance that you're in Pittsburgh Christmas Eve for that Immaculate Reception game? Because that's the anniversary of that.
Yeah.
On NFL Network.
And Franco was at my wedding. Franco Harris was the hit of my wedding. Mm-hmm. I remember Ed O'Neill telling me this story about all he wanted the whole night was to meet Franco because he was in training camp in 1969 with Joe Green and Chuck Noll.
Right.
And he was just nervous and didn't know what to do or how to approach him. Franco starts walking across the dance floor towards Ed, and he's getting nervous. Franco comes right up to him. He's like, "Man, you're Al Bundy. You're Modern Family. Wow!" And so Ed just couldn't believe that Franco knew who he was. So, but yeah, I'd love to be there to support Franco. We'll see.
Christmas Eve's a rough, potential night, family and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'm directing this thing I can't talk about yet.
Very good.
Oh. But I'm going to be in full swing with that. So.
Now, was there did Franco catch the bouquet right near the floor? Did he?
We should have got that picture.
How did you not do that?
Oh man. Our wedding photographer, now I'm upset. That could have been a full splash page in the wedding album. Just
Franco down on the ground, grabbing the bouquet.
Holy cow.
Did it hit the ground? Did it not?
Man, how did we miss that? How did I miss that? Not how did Sophia miss that? How did I miss that?
No, I think you're too busy on that.
A little busy, yeah. A lot going on.
Just to go to
I think we need a
Sophia and say,
renewing
let's
of the
recreate.
vows. Yeah, renewing of the vows.
Yeah.
Get Franco back in here and let's get it.
10th anniversary, Franco's
10th
there.
anniversary.
For sure. And we will retire his number at our house.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The first number.
Done.
Have you gotten into the new Game of Thrones? Have you done that yet?
I haven't watched an episode yet.
He's out.
I
was so disappointed the way that
it ended.
That the previous Thrones ended. He won't go back.
I'm not mad about that. In fact, for me, I was ready to go back and start watching from episode 1, the original series. So I was ready to go back and start, like, enough time had passed. I wanted to go back and revisit it. But I don't know, maybe at some point. I'm writing something that's fantasy based, and I just kind of don't want other fantasy incarnations in my brain while I'm writing.
So this is a creative decision to not watch the new Game of Thrones? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just made that up. But it just sounded really professional.
It really did, actually.
But like when you play Streetcar, you don't go watch Brando in Streetcar. You want to do your own version. Here we are.
So that means you're not playing Dungeons and Dragons either?
I've only played once in the past over a year.
What the hell?
I have 45-year-old things going on, Rich.
Wow.
or what's the quote? I'm 45 years old. I got a lot of shit going on.
Right.
So yeah,
like Brady, huh?
Brady and I have a lot in common. We're both married to very, very beautiful women.
You guys won in that, yeah.
We love cheating at card games. No, I don't like to cheat. That's actually not true. I'm from Pittsburgh. We don't do that.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, very good. Look at you. The whole Patriot thing, man. Gosh. You still can't get through it.
Well, we beat them all.
Troy Polamalu, it upset Troy. And now it's upset me.
Yeah,
and it upset Kurt Warner. Your buddy Kurt.
What do you mean?
Talk to Kurt. About the Super Bowl where they were calling out. They were calling, and that led to the interception. And you talk to Kurt, who is one of the most incredible. Troy and Kurt are maybe two of the best men I've ever met. You are on that list.
You don't need to throw me in with that, but I appreciate it.
No, but it's serious. You hold yourselves to a high standard, and when you talk to them about those games, they're like, "There's no way."
I know Marshall definitely feels that their red zone plays got recorded
Here's where
somehow.
that argument falls apart. It was the red zone plays they were allegedly filming. Mm-hmm. The Rams scored their only red zone appearance in that game. So what are we doing?
Well, when you're calling out plays that there's no way you could have known about that were installed in complete secret, like there's no way they could have known. And Eric Mangini blows the whistle. Where's the Michael Mann movie about Mangini? You know what I mean? Like the
Michael
Insider.
Mangini?
The Eric Mangini.
What is it called? Mangenius? That's the name
Mangenius.
Of it?
By Michael Mann.
He's got a big camera.
Oh yeah.
And you had your head all the way up it.
Hey.
Have you seen the Japanese dub over of that scene in Heat?
No.
There's a Japanese dub of Heat. And it's amazing. It's in my Twitter feed somewhere.
I saw the Greek version today because I literally sent that to somebody, that clip. So
it's incredible.
Hank Azaria told us his perspective on that scene where it was his birthday. Yeah. He had not been on the set very long. And it was, Pacino kept doing take after take. And then he did that particular take. And his reaction was, geez, and that made the final cut.
Amazing. Well, on every set, usually with a good director, once you get it, you've got it. The first couple of takes, you want to make sure you're getting what's on the page. You want to make sure you nail it. They've got it. And then there's the one where the director comes up and says, hey, just give it a spin. Give it a free spin.
Right.
And the fact that Pacino went there on the free spin out of nowhere.
What is Soderbergh like? Which one is
Soderbergh is, we show up in the space, and he'll walk around for about 45 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. Like he'll kind of get up, and then he's, doing this. Okay. And then now he's over here for about 45 minutes.
Yes.
We're just all, we're just hanging out, talking, BSing, and then he'll go, okay, I need a track here. Give me a 60, whatever, and blah, 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 And then where do you want us? And he's like, yeah, just where you were. And you're like, all right, so you just pick a spot. And you're like, what do you want us to do? And he's like, when you were talking about Waffle House, you told that story about Waffle, just do that. That was funny. Okay, so then you do the Waffle House story, and he moves the camera. Maybe does a second take. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, we're good. And you're like, aren't you going to shoot coverage? And he's like, no, I got it.
Amazing.
So it's just, and then that night, we'll go up to he would call me to watch football, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. He'd just call me, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just ordered some chicken in the room, just got back to the gym. All right, bring the chicken up to let's watch football. So we'll go up there, and he would sit on his laptop while we're watching football. And then he'd have, as soon as the game was over, he'd have an assistant come and plug the camera in to the TV. Mm-hmm. And he would have all of the scenes we shot that day fully edited.
While you were watching the game?
With soundtrack. And so you're watching what takes he picked. And we shot the movies in order so that the next day you knew what take he used. You knew what part of your performance. You knew what free spin. I mean, there's only like 2 takes. But,
right, sure.
He moves really quickly. And he's like best friends with David Fincher. So I was like, Fincher's notorious for doing 38, 70 takes, whatever it is.
Right.
I said, how are you guys friends? Don't you guys argue? He goes, no, we just have very different ways of getting what we want. And it was a fascinating, Soderbergh told me that his goal was to not even have to speak to an actor, that he could psychically get them onto the slide and slide them perfectly into where he wanted them to be and needed them to be. And I got that. Because after about 3 weeks on the first Magic Mike, he had said nothing to me, like not a word. And I was like, hey, do you like what I'm doing? Or what? Like, are you okay with this? Or and he's like, no, if I had a problem, I would have told you. I would have said something. And I went, oh. And then it was like, it just gave you permission to go, can I get a sewing machine, a gold lame thong? I need a pack of herbal cigarettes, and I'm going to bring my glasses from home. You wear glasses? Yeah. Okay. And then I just made this little sweatshop scene, while I'm sewing my gold thong, Right, sure. And it was like, great. And then that winds up in the movie. So you were like given the freedom to bring whatever you wanted, but it was this kind of protective atmosphere where, that, and also like that kind of fear, that kind of energy where you don't know if you're any good.
Yeah.
It helps so much. It's antithetical because you want to be comfortable. But like, for example, like the scene we did in the, the gas station convenience store,
your
right?
Famous scene where you're dancing and
to the Backstreet Boys.
Correct.
Which, funny enough, I posted, there was a Yankee game where they played I Want It That Way and they were all singing. And Sophia was like, I think you had something to do with this. I was like, yeah, I know. I was thinking about like if there was another one, what songs I would bring back for that. But like, when we shot that convenience store scene, the girl they cast, she didn't crack a smile during any of the rehearsals. So we're walking through it and we thought it was the funniest thing in the whole world. And then I look over and she's like looking at me like, you're the stupidest person I've ever seen in my. So you get nervous and maybe it's not that funny. Maybe this is going to bomb. But that's exactly what you need, because then now you're trying harder. You're working harder, and that's what you need in those moments. You don't need to be comfortable as an actor. You need to be uncomfortable, and that's antithetical, I think, to most people's like existence. But then when I got to the end and she smiled and it was genuine, it was like, okay.
I love that.
Woo.
Amazing, Joe. I mean, what great insight that is, especially since, you showing what Soderbergh looked like, checking out a scene and looking from that point and that angle while holding a chihuahua at the same time was really impressive. I just have no idea if that's what Soderbergh did as well, or you just had bubbles in your hand. Did he have a hairless chihuahua in his tucked into his arm?
No, this is me as a director.
Understood.
Every director has their own style.
Are you going to do that when you are directing your next? Is Bubbles going to be?
Yeah, she'll be there the whole time.
What is Joe's style as a director? What do you like?
Joe's style of directing?
It's holding a hairless chihuahua while moving pieces around.
I'm really hard on actors. No, I'm like, I think I'm pretty user friendly. I mean, I'm just, you come from theater. It's just like about excitement. You're just like, getting everybody excited. But like I said, also not playing some sort of Machiavellian game, because I've been in those situations with directors where it's like, I'm going to talk to you like a jerk and trying to manipulate you into being a tough guy. And it's like, hey, man, just turn the camera on, all right? You know? So I'm kind of like that guy. I like to.
Well, I mean, being on a Soderbergh set and obviously having so much success that you had doing that, it'll no doubt leave a mark. So you're about to wrap The Kill Room. You're with Samuel L. Jackson, and Uma Thurman.
Yep.
And what's the streetwear line Death Saves? What's that that you're involved with?
So I was big into like heavy metal artwork and fantasy artwork growing up, whether that was Frank Frazetta or, you know, all the old album art for like, Iron Maiden, Metallica. And so I started a streetwear line to bring like, you know, that heavy metal fantasy back. Like basically there was that period of time, the Satanic Panic. Oh, this is my upcoming Magic the Gathering shirt.
There you go.
There was an old piece of artwork from the 90s called All Hallows Eve, and I'll drop this for Halloween.
Beautiful.
So if, you know, I'm just combing, you know, old existing artwork, or I actually work with a lot of great heavy metal artists to create new artwork for, you know, I did Game of Thrones, I did Dark Crystal when it came out on Netflix, and I do Dungeons and Dragons, Frank Frazetta.
At death-saves.com for all of that. Whoa, did we just lose something? We just lost a bulb there, huh?
It looks like some power went out.
All right, we're good. We're good. Everything's
still on there?
By the way, as I said, death-saves.com. I heard that little pop. We're good? Is Bubbles okay? Everybody okay? Bubbles okay? All right, my mic is on, so we're all good.
I'm on.
All right, very good. We're good. Thanks for coming on here, Joe Manganiello. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, may the best team win on Sunday.
Very good. May the best team win to you as well. At Joe Manganiello on Twitter and Instagram, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Great to see you. Great to see. Oh, Bubbles is falling asleep, which is definitely not at all an indication of how terrific a conversation that we had. Very good. Good to see Bubbles. Sweet dog.
It's a bird
Wonderful,
thing.
wonderful dog.